We are delighted to have Senator Jim Whalen as our keynote speaker. Senator Whalen has been a consummate, tireless advocate for Atlantic City, Atlantic County, and all of southern New Jersey, and has been a distinguished friend of Stockton University throughout his storied career. I am very pleased to present to all of you Senator Jim Whalen.
First, I want to thank Stockton University, the Board of Trustees, Chairman Deininger, President Kesselman, all the administration, the faculty, staff, and the student body for the honor of being your commencement speaker, and it is an honor. Welcome to Atlantic City's Boardwalk Hall. This building was built in the 1920s by the famous, and some would say infamous, Nucky Johnson. Yes, he went to jail eventually. Because of Prohibition, Atlantic City, where Prohibition was just a rumor, was doing well as a convention town. The city was wide open. So Atlantic City, with a building like this, would become the convention center capital of the nation. Unfortunately, Prohibition was repealed, the Depression came in, and that plan didn't quite work out. But this building remains a great entertainment venue and special events venue such as this, and an icon of Atlantic City. Now we look forward to new icons emerging in Atlantic City, especially the presence of a full residential campus just down the boardwalk from this building. For Stockton, as we heard from President Kesselman, it represents a return to its roots when the Mayflower, just up the boardwalk, was its original home. Through the years, Stockton has had a strong presence in Atlantic City with the Carnegie Library and the Arts Center, various programs, but a full campus at Albany Avenue and the boardwalk. How cool is that? Atlantic City is so proud to host this commencement while your new campus is literally being built. Now, I am aware that commencement speeches are notoriously not paid attention to. You've paid attention for the last 4 years. You've earned your degree. They're not going to take it back. So what do you care what I'm up here talking about? You have other things on your mind, like getting your picture taken with your family and with your friends, where you're going to go afterwards for your meal and for the party. How long is this guy going to talk? I'm a little bit like the adult voices in the Charlie Brown TV cartoons that you all watched. Wonka, 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 wonka. There's noise, but it's not really registering as language. However, there are certain customs that come with this role. First, we want you, the graduates, to acknowledge your parents, grandparents, spouses, significant others. You did the work, but you didn't get here alone. So you get to stand up now, try to spot your parents out in the crowd, give them a wave, the Miss America wave. You're in the right building for that. So stand up, give them a round of applause, and thank your parents. All right. The second role that I have is to give you some advice, some pearl of wisdom, heretofore unknown to you, but which henceforth you can guide your life to fulfillment. Well, I'm sorry you got the wrong guy. I would, however, like to tell you the story of two men from the 19th century whose influence is felt today. The first is Charles Darwin. You all know about Darwin, natural selection, his trip around the world, all that good stuff. And during Darwin's time, paleontology was emerging, and scientists and amateur fossil hunters were discovering these massive bones. And the question was, what happened to these animals, these dinosaurs? Darwin figured, under his theory, that they had been replaced by species that were more fit, and that if we kept digging, literally kept digging, we'd eventually find what replaced that species in the fossil record. Darwin was wrong. We now know that dinosaurs became extinct because a giant asteroid crashed into the Earth by the Yucatan Peninsula, Gulf of Mexico, changing the Earth's atmosphere and resulting in a great mass extinction. Think about it in our time. Polar bears are not threatened because there are other species that are taking their place in the Arctic environment. They are threatened because the Arctic environment is disappearing. So Darwin got the back half of his theory, how animals go extinct, wrong. This doesn't mean he wasn't the greatest scientist of his time. Doesn't mean he didn't change the way we think about the world and creation and science. It just means he got something wrong. Another 19th century man, at least as great and influential as Darwin, but in a different field, who by an amazing coincidence was born on the same day, February 12, 1809, was Abraham Lincoln. Southern states were seceding. Lincoln came to the presidency dedicated to the proposition that this nation, conceived in liberty, would long endure. With the Civil War inevitable, Lincoln's most important appointment would be his commanding general. He got it wrong. He had General Scott, who was smart enough but too old for field command. Then he had General McDowell. General McDowell was followed by General McClellan, who was followed by General Pope. Then they brought back General McClellan. Then they had General Hooker, General Burnside, General Meade, General Halleck was in the mix. All of this was happening in a very compressed time frame, and every time Lincoln made a change, he was subject to ridicule and controversy. But it didn't stop him. He kept changing commanders every time he got it wrong until he got it right with U.S. Grant. My great concern, Lincoln said, is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with failure. So that's my message to you. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to get it wrong. You are going to make some. Keep going and you will make some more. But go a little further and eventually you will get it right. Again, thank you for the honor of being your commencement speaker. Congratulations to you and your family and the Stockton family, and good luck in the future. Thank you.